Hi, I'm 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗔𝗛, and I help people to raise their natural energy. I have a box, actually it's multiple shoe boxes, where I have kept cards and letters through the years that people have written to me that have been ones of encouragement. Sometimes they happen to come around my birthday and written on birthday cards. Sometimes they come at an anniversary of an event. Sometimes they come after I've been on stage with my 375 students and people write different notes of thank you or gratitude or encouragement. Whatever they were written on, however that message came, I hold on to them. I've been holding on to them from my first year of teaching, actually before that. But my forever file began my first year of teaching. And in that were notes and comments from parents, ones from students, that they would write things and they would just touch my heart in a way. I share this with you because over 10 years ago my father passed. And although I have a very short something that I can listen to that has his voice on there, I had not heard my father's voice in any form for years. And I had a gift over the weekend where somebody shared part of a cassette, that's how old this is, part of a cassette that she had received from my father with words of encouragement. In fact, in there, my father said, "I support your decision." And in that space, as she's sharing this with me, tears are rolling down her face and tears are rolling down my face. Because you see, friend, the decision that she was making was one that she found incredibly difficult to make. And yet, it was in that space for that period of time the right decision to make. You see, all of us have these spaces in our life where we can come home and perhaps even just lay on the floor or sit potentially in a corner or lay next to a wall in our house that we find comfortable. We can have spaces and times where despair touches our heart. In fact, as soon as the vibration of that shows up, the suffering is so real. And because our brain remembers not in who was in the event, but how we felt in the event, as soon as something comes along that way, our brain brings back for us other times that we have felt that same way. And so all of a sudden, it's not just this one space that we might feel despair in or that we might feel traumatized by, but every single other space and time that we have felt exactly the same way shows up in multiple choruses. And in those spaces, you need to know who you are. You need to know that people have been seeing you, have been saying things to you, have been encouraging you. And so for myself, decades ago, I began collecting these letters and cards. Now, I'm not the first person to do this. My grandparents did this. My parents were living overseas and they would keep all of their letters. And so this wasn't a foreign concept for me to start doing, but it was one that was crafted, that I created just for me, a forever file. That's not what my parents called it, but I made it what worked for me. Friend, I am here to tell you that I want every single one of your days from here to the rest of your life to be days that are encouraging, days that you find meaning in it. And yet, there may be days that are really, really hard pressed for you to feel any encouragement. And on those days, I want you to have already designed a space that you can go, a place that you can read what other people have said about you. You may even write things about yourself that you see on days that you have had incredible pieces happen. I want you to be able to remember who you are. And in this place, you also might find that there is a remembrance back to what I would say would be scripture or the ancients writing in. Paul wrote letters of encouragement. He wrote this short little tiny letter to Philemon. It doesn't even have chapters in it. He wrote longer letters of encouragement to the people in Corinth. We call them 1st and 2nd Corinthians. In those spaces, people are able to go and read and find the encouragement for them. You are doing this for yourself. I invite you in this space, if you have found encouragement inside of this, to go ahead and drop a note below. And inside of that, to maybe share with another person. If you are looking for daily encouragement, I invite you to follow me on Instagram at 𝗦𝗧𝒢𝗥𝗔𝗛.